What is going on, Fightful Faithful, and welcome back here to another interview on Fightful Scraps. Today, I am joined by a man many of you will know from the States, but he has been tearing it up in the UK and in Europe in recent weeks. It is Mr. One Called Manders. How are you doing today, man?
Corey, I'm good, I guess. We're here in London, hanging out at the Travel Lodge for now, and just ready for the damn weekend to start. That's when I start my work, so I'm kind of itching for a fight, I guess.
And in the sense that you are like, with coming to the UK, obviously wrestling in the UK and the US, for when I've talked to anyone who's done both, they do say there are significant differences in how you work the crowd and so on. But for you, what has been the biggest difference wrestling in the UK, in Germany, and so on versus wrestling in the US?
Uh so like they always talk about like how different territories have different like things that suits them, right?
Yeah,
And I do think wrestling, like, this makes me sound like a dick, but like wrestling's not rocket science, right?
no.
You want a crowd to cheer you, you want a crowd to boo you. Like the similar things to make a crowd go, it all works everywhere, right?
Mhm.
But the difference is I've noticed between over here than over there, and even difference between UK crowds and like maybe Germany or other like European crowds is that the UK, they love their chants, and I think it's awesome. So like, the last few shows that I've been on, Progress, Rev Pro, Catch, um, those I think, and North, sorry, North, they all chanted the Winter Wonderland song, and I think it's hilarious, and they put a remix on it with my name in it, and I think it's great. So like that compared to the states, like no one sings songs in the states like that, and I think it's sick. It could be from, like proper football over here, or I don't know what else, but I think it's awesome. It's awesome.
I think anyone in the UK will appreciate you calling it proper football as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, but
And I'm a football guy, like an American football guy. So
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
call it soccer, so I just call it proper football. I'll just call it that.
And obviously, this isn't your first time in Europe. Just last year, you were actually in Europe as well. There was something that did kind of go a little awry. Yeah, that's not the right way to pronounce that. I'm not sure, uh, but you ended up missing your Progress debut, something that just was out of your hands.
Out of my hands.
But do you want to
That
kind of
that
walk us through what happened there?
Yeah, I sat on the runway for about 4 hours. One of the I forget what part of the airplane it was. It was a part basically that um, it was not like it was done, and they were trying to find another part for it, and it makes me like, if we want to make a rant of like airlines, it's insane to me that like, like British Airways is like $1 billion company or £1 billion company, whatever. They're a billion. They make a lot of money, and the fact that you don't have a part blows my mind. So you couldn't get off the plane because there was like another flight you could get where if I just got off the plane, I get there right now, I could still make the show, but you like couldn't leave. So we sat on the runway for about 4 hours, and they were like turning me like a rotisserie chicken, man. It was something with like the, I can't remember what the part was, but it was basically like in order for like them to find the part, they had to shut off the AC. So then it would like turn off and it get like hot as hell. And then they would like turn it back on because like it's insanely hot, so they had to like make it cool again. So they would like turn it on, off, on, off, on, off, and it was for 4 hours. And I was wearing all black, so I was wearing black jeans and black shirt, and it was all denim, and I just was like, this is terrible. But hey, it all worked out. We still got to I still got to do the electric ballroom. couple Sundays ago. I wrestled Luke Jacobs, and me and Luke know how to wrestle each other or fight each other, however you want to call it. And we still I still get to wrestle Tate next week, so it'll be fun.
And on that kind of note of Tay, he did promise you a handshake and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tate Tate is someone that kind of like has kind of garnered a lot of praise, but a lot of people hate him. Also, is there kind of is there kind of a tension there between you two with the concern of is he going to shake your hand or is it just going to be another ploy to get a victory?
I just think it's all bullshit. Like, I mean, people change, right? Like, but in the wrestling business, once I see who you are, you're always that person anyway. I mean, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm not. Look, if we got scrap, we got scrap. I mean, we're gonna scrap regardless. Like that's kind of the other thing too. Like whether he wants to be cheap or not, like I'm still gonna hit the piss out of him. So I mean,
Yeah.
so
And you've mentioned North a bit as well, and the first actual non-tournament match for the NCL Cup is going to be you and your tag team partner against Rampage Brown and Will Cruz for the North tag
yeah,
titles. Uh,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
Uh, North is great. I had a great time. I wrestled Gene Money, and he was great, and the crowd was great. Like I think there was about I think it was like 8 matches, maybe nine. I don't remember. But every crowd, like every match, top to bottom, like the crowd was there the whole time, and I think it's you don't really see that in wrestling. Sometimes there's a dip every now and then, and that's just how it goes. Part of the course. Like it's a lot of energy to expend for that long of a time, and um, yeah. So Shire and me, or Shire's coming. Thomas Shire. Me and him have been tag partners for a little bit, and he's great. And we're gonna wrestle Will Cruz and Rampage Brown, who I both I know they're big lads, and I respect them, and they're mean SOBs, and they just want tag straps. So having having that defense or whatever and fighting against us cowboy way, and I think it's cool. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you did mention Luke Jacobs, obviously, and Jacobs is someone that you've ended up wrestling quite a bit, 5 times over the last
Yeah.
little while. You've wrestled in the
Five
US,
times.
yeah, US, UK, Germany. You're traveling the world with this lad. What are your thoughts on Luke? What are your feelings like? Because everyone in the UK are just like this guy is is among the world's best.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think Luke is literally, if not, he's the best wrestler in the UK. Might be one of the best wrestlers in Europe, but also too, like he's also like one of the best in the world. Like I really believe that, and he's like 24 years old, which is insane to me. But even though he's 24, right, he carries himself like he's maybe it's because of his trainers, right? The grizzled young
Mhm.
vets, like maybe he carries himself like a grizzled young vet, and like he's just all the world for Luke, dude. I think Luke's great. I could wrestle him all night, any day of the week, twice on Sundays. Like he's great, and I never I never thought I know like at WXW we I remember Felix telling me like I think you and him would be great, and then like after doing it, I was just like, yeah, I could wrestle him any day, and then just caught a big old storm with it, caught fire, and it just we got to do it at DPW and GCW and Rev Pro, and it's great. It's really great. I can wrestle him any day. Maybe Japan. That would be the other one. I think that would be the last ribbon
Mm.
on the bow. Would be sick. So hopefully someday we'll see.
And like I said, and which we've already said, you've wrestled Luke Jacobs pretty much all over the world now. Is there, well, one place you did wrestle him was in Rev Pro, the British J Cup, or in September of last year. And you've been in RevPro quite a bit during your time in the UK, and I'm just wondering your thoughts on that whole setup and wrestling against some of RevPro's names.
I mean, I've been wanting to wrestle Rev Pro for ever since I first started, and I like to think I'm like a student of the game, and I don't know if
Hmm.
it's because of playing American football and we would watch tape study and you put a chaw in and you watch it for about a few hours a day and when I first started you like kind of figure out like what are the places that are some of the best in the world, and Rev Pro is one of them. And like I got lucky enough where I did so well in WXW that Felix um, asked Andy, and Andy said yeah, and then like what better opponent to wrestle than Luke Jacobs, and like we put on a really good match, and Andy was like, "You're whenever you're here or whatever, I want you around." And there's a lot of similarities, I think, with Rev Pro and GCW. Maybe not death matches and stuff like that, but like
Hmm.
they just they both they can pick in, they can get the best wrestlers in the world, and like it's just how it is, I guess. And to be a part of that is just really sick, and like to be claimed as that, I guess. And um, no, I like Rev Pro a lot. You got guys like Michael Oku and guys like Luke and his tag partner Ethan, and then you got like Iker Navarro from Spain, and I'm probably gonna say his name wrong, but Zuzaya, I think it's how you say
Zazea.
it.
Zazea.
Zuzaya,
That's
yeah,
it.
see, I wasn't good at English, so here you go. But like you got guys like that, and you got RKJ and David Francisco, and the list just goes on and on and on and on, right? Like so like and then having and then you like they got the New Japan connection, and like like and they also have the CMLL connection, and they it's just like it's just really cool to have a British company work with the best companies in literally the entire world, and I want to be a part of that. It's that simple. And it's cool.
And like we've said a couple of times already, Germany and UK and so on and so forth, while you've been in Europe, is there anywhere, any wrestling scene in Europe that you kind of want to dip your toe into? Maybe the Irish one, maybe the French one, or is it kind of you're just happy with UK and Germany for now?
I mean, I'm happy for whatever I get, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think OTT in Ireland would be sick. I think BZW in France and Belgium would be sick. I think APC would be sick. I think um, SAJ in Italy would be sick. I think New Holland would be sick. I think any of the I got to wrestle in Denmark last time, and that was really cool for Body Slam. I think the places in Scandinavia would be great, and yeah, I think all of them would be great. It just happened to be like the way it went this time, where I wanted to wrestle for WXW and Rev Pro as much as I could. So they had all these dates, and a lot of them had, um, were double booked for like the other countries, and that's all right. We'll get it next time.
And you mentioned back in December when you made your list of goals for 2025, one of those goals was to win the 16 karat gold tournament with WXW. And how confident are you that you can get that done this year? And why, for you, as someone who is from the United States, has built his career mainly in the United States, how important is it for you to win that established tournament in Europe?
So last year I was in the semis, and I lost to the guy that won it.
Hmm.
So I think that alone right there gives me confidence of, I got that far last time. I can this time it's win or bust. And I think now because I've been here a little bit more, I know like the way of the land a little better, whether of not maybe geography wise, but like just the people and like and who they are and what they do and who they know and being a student of the game and seeing things like that and I think with all those things, that's what makes me a better candidate now than it was before. But then again, maybe not. Maybe because now I've been here more, now more people see what I do now. So maybe it'll make it harder. I don't really know. The best thing I can do is I'm going to go out there 110%. I'm gonna whoop ass and take names and um, see how it goes.
And I have to ask because with there's just so many tag teams in the UK that are thriving right now. You've got Like Us Jim, you've got Grizzled Young Vets, you've got just a litany of teams that could step up to the play. So, say you do win the North Tag titles alongside Thomas Shire. Is there any teams in the UK that stand out to you as kind of a dream tag team match between you and Shire and them?
Oh, I mean, you said them. Like I think Lycos Gym would be great. Me and Shire got to wrestle them in a 6 man at Deadlock with Leon Slater, who I didn't say him earlier. It's another guy that's like one of the best, probably in the world too, is Leon
Mm,
Slater. I should have said that earlier, and I totally forgot. But that's my
mm,
CT, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's just. It's not even. I'm making a joke, but like. But no, seriously, like. There's so much talent over here. It's
mhm,
insane. It's insane to me. Like you also got like Robbie X. Like last night I watched Robbie X versus Oku versus Leon Slater. I think it was Conquest or Concept. Is that am
mhm.
I saying that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't. And that's the other thing too. There's so much. There's so many wrestling companies here too.
Yeah.
And forgive me for correcting it or not correcting it right, but like I watched that triple threat and I just literally sat there. Was just like, I gotta wrestle all these guys. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
got to wrestle these guys. It's crazy. The work rate here is like I'm not
second to
saying
none.
that there ain't no work rate in the states, but like it's just a whole different can of worms over here. So you got to learn to adapt to it. So
It really is. And just one more question for you, man.
yeah,
Uh, you mentioned obviously you will be heading back to the States. Is Europe something that you want to keep doing? Do you want to keep jumping back and forth, or will it be kind of
oh
little
my god, yeah,
excursions here and there?
oh my god, yeah, of course. Like in order for you to get better in this profession, you have to wrestle people that are better than you, and you have to wrestle people that are you know the best around. And this is a traveling business, so in order for me to be better, I got to wrestle better at in Europe. I got to wrestle better in Japan. I got to wrestle better in Mexico. I got to wrestle better in America. Like so, of course, yeah. And I love it over here. I do miss my like slow way of life in the states, but I think anywhere you can find it if you really want to. So I think it's all
And
right way.
I will ask you just. I'm going to make a liar of myself. I'm going to ask you just one more question here.
Dude,
On
you can
that,
ask as many as you like.
as you said a little, or as we talked about a little earlier, you had that list of goals for 2025. One of those goals, as well, in addition to the 16-carat gold, is you said you wanted to wrestle in York Hall, which is one of the more iconic venues in the UK. You Rev Pro run it occasionally, and so on and so forth. And I have to ask, how was the feeling towards wanting to wrestle there in comparison to, say, last month you wrestled in the Hammerstein with um, GCW?
Um, I mean, they're both pretty high, right? Like, they're like nostalgic places. I mean, at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, right? It's just a building. So, like, this isn't me shitting on it. This is just how I operate in my brain, right?
Yeah,
This isn't me shitting on all of this. Your call's great, and I
yeah.
would love to wrestle your call. And sadly, I think the show on 316 it was supposed to be on your call, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's at the old Fight Club Pro venue, which is cool. Hey, whatever, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me, as long as there's a crowd and they're with it and they cheer or boo and I get paid, it don't really matter, man. Because and also too, like it doesn't matter what the three letters are either. Like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, like As long as somebody says hooray or whatever, it doesn't matter to me.
Of course. And thank you, man, for sitting down for me with this interview. You've been great to chat to today. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on social media and where you will be competing next over this weekend and the weeks to follow?
Yeah. So you can follow me at it's the number one and then called underscore Manders on Instagram and X or Twitter, whatever the fuck it's called. More. Um, I also got TikTok too, which it's just one called Manders too. Um, you type in that on even Facebook and everything like that too. It'll come up probably. Um, this week I got some. I'm like all over the place. I'm in Birmingham Friday for Kamikaze, and Saturday I'm in Germany for Bielefeld, and then or Bielefeld. I don't know which. and then Sunday I got Rev Pro in Southampton against Leon Slater. So um, that's where I am this weekend. And then next weekend I got Progress, right? Me and Tate in Manchester,
Mhm.
old Luke Jacobs stomping grounds, and the next day I'm in Germany again. Obertraubling, I think is what it's called. So
Yeah. Once again, man, thank you for sitting down for this interview, guys. Make sure to go and follow Manders on social media. Keep up with what he's doing in Europe. It's awesome to have him over here in this thriving scene, but also check out his stuff in the US with GCW, with Deadlock, and so on and so forth. And guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and come back later in the week because I will be interviewing Amale and Mike D later this week. 2 interviews I'm really excited
oh
for.
yeah, there you go. Mike D's a freak too. That's another
Yeah,
guy. God, he's so good.
he really is.
Egg Blanc too. Egg Blanc's great. Like
Yeah.
there's so much in this scene. It really is, and it's awesome to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. And that's us. That's us for today, guys. Like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, come back for more on Fightful Scraps, and we will see you next time.